Have you ever wondered how the settlement cycle for U.S. securities works? If so, you're not alone. The settlement cycle is a crucial part of securities transactions. It's the period that elapses between the execution of a trade and when the transaction is considered final. This interval is often referred to as T+1 or T+2, where the T stands for the trade date, and the +1 or +2 represent 1 or 2 business days after the trade. This cycle is important, as it determines when the buyer must make the payment and the seller must deliver the securities. It's a system designed to ensure the smooth exchange of securities and money. But with recent developments, the U.S. is moving to a shorter settlement cycle, T+1, which means transactions will settle 1 business day after the trade. This shift is causing both excitement and concern among market participants. Why? Well, we'll delve into that in our next segment. You might ask, why change the settlement cycle? Well, it's all about reducing risk. Let's delve into this. The decision to shorten the settlement cycle was largely driven by the desire to lessen the risks of unsettled trades after periods of volatility. If we rewind to the 2021 plunge in GameStop, we can see a clear example of how periods of extreme volatility can expose the financial system to risk. By moving to a shorter settlement cycle, the hope is to mitigate such risks in the future. However, this change is not without its challenges, particularly for international fund managers. Let's picture this. You're a fund manager based in Europe, dealing in U.S. securities. With the settlement cycle moving from T+2 to T+1, you now have less time to settle your trades. This could mean staffing problems as you scramble to get everything done in a shorter time frame. And that's not all. With less time to settle trades, fund managers may need to hold more cash to cover any potential gaps, leading to cash mismatches. This could in turn negatively impact fund performance. The need to hold more cash also increases the foreign exchange risk, as fund managers will need to convert more of their local currency into dollars to settle their trades. So we see that while the move to a shorter settlement cycle is aimed at reducing risk, it also presents new challenges that market participants need to navigate. The transition is going to be costly, and it's going to require some significant adjustments. Despite these challenges, the transition to a shorter settlement cycle is seen as a necessary step towards risk reduction and operational benefits. It might be a bumpy road ahead, but the hope is that the end result will be a more robust and resilient financial system. So, what exactly is happening to prepare for this change? And what does it mean for the industry? As we navigate these uncharted waters, several key players are stepping up to the plate. The Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, or DTCC, is one such entity. This organization, which provides securities clearing and settlement in U.S. financial markets, is actively collaborating with industry bodies like the Investment Company Institute to brace for the impending shift. But what does this preparation look like in practice? Well, one significant expectation is an increase in cash balances within funds. This is to bridge any potential gaps that may arise due to the change in settlement cycle. As Ben Springett, head of European Electronic and Program Trading at Jefferies, points out, this could impact fund performance, as the need for higher cash balances could lead to cash mismatches. However, it's not all storm clouds on the horizon. Industry experts like Tom Price, the managing director and head of technology, operations, and business continuity at the Securities Industry and Financial Markets Association, believe that while this transition is complex, it also presents risk reduction and operational benefits for the industry. Echoing these sentiments, R.J. Rondini, Director of Securities Operations at ICI, argues that for the U.S. securities market, the decrease in capital far outweighs the potential risks in other areas. This perspective offers a silver lining to the challenges that the shorter settlement cycle presents, suggesting that the change could ultimately be beneficial. Despite the challenges, the consensus seems to be that the benefits of a shorter settlement cycle outweigh the risks. This change is set to redefine the U.S. securities market, and only time will tell what the full impact will be. So what have we learned about the settlement cycle and the changes in store? We've delved into the concept of the settlement cycle, understanding it as the period between the execution of a trade and its settlement. We've seen how the U.S. is moving towards a shorter settlement cycle, from T+2 to T+1, in response to volatile periods like the GameStop plunge in 2021. This shift, however, isn't without its challenges. International fund managers are grappling with staffing issues, the prospect of holding more cash, and increased foreign exchange risk. It's a change that also sets the US apart from much of the world, where the typical cycle is T+2, prompting market participants to rethink their processes to avoid transaction failures and higher trading expenses. But it's not all gloom and doom. The industry is preparing, with bodies like the DTCC collaborating with others to ensure a smooth transition. Despite the complexities, experts see the potential for risk reduction and operational benefits. As the US moves towards a shorter settlement cycle, the securities industry is in for an interesting ride. Stay tuned to see how this change will impact the market.